It is February 11th, 2024. It's currently 3:53 p.m. So I want to be clear. This is Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California. This is a street that is along the perimeter of Alvarado Gardens where I am currently residing in Los Angeles. That's engineered light in the shade, manifesting in the shade in the parking lot. That is supposed to be the sun. This is referred to as a light source at a state facilitating venue where you have the state acting, such as the Los Angeles Police Department, that are engaged in group stalking, also known as gang stalking, and they are criminally monitoring in violation of federal law. That's called crossing path at a state facilitating venue. The people of the state are engaged in what is state-sponsored stalking, and they're doing so in a specific environment. As you can see, the manifestations of light, this is speaking to what is not only satanic, understand that it's satanic at its core, that's prosecuted as terrorism in a court of law, but you have what is the state that is engaging in maintaining an unnatural environment in order to engage in what is the targeting of an American citizen in violation of your constitutional rights and your human rights. So here at 1800 North Alvarado Street, Alvarado Gardens, a third-party facilitating venue, you have what is the state that is engaged in group stalking, gang stalking, doing so with the people of the state. The people of the state live here. They are not here in any individual capacity. They are not enjoying any constitutional rights. They are here representing the state that is currently occupying a criminal monitoring system. Exhibit A, I just want to point this light source out to you. If you recall, February 9th, that was 2 days ago, at the same exact time, that's why I started this video at 3:53 p.m., because you will recall the stalker that is the Los Angeles Police Department, while I stood in that direction down toward where my office is, and I faced building 1818, refer to the map that I've already uploaded to the Google Drive, you'll see the Los Angeles Police Department stalking where that which is not possibly the sun remaining for an excess of 8 hours in a day, as I've documented. But on this day, February 9th, as I stood at my office, the Los Angeles Police Department is captured in an image flying over this building. And you can see from the angle in that picture, the light source is not over building 1818 as it is today at 3:53 p.m. because it's based on where I'm located. This is how you're understanding what is targeting within a natural environment, also known as terrorism. That's how it's going to be prosecuted, serving for criminal monitoring and group stalking by a state, a public entity. It's a matter of public corruption. You have what is clear in those pictures. You can see where the Los Angeles Police Department is flying over this building. This is building 1818, and you can see the light source is nowhere near. It's not even in this direction. As I turn my back and I face that opposite direction, the light source is behind me. At 3:53 p.m., which I capture in images where I'm at my office, this light source would in no way, which it did on the 9th, because that's where I was located down there. The light source is back there behind me, which is where I had to turn around and take a picture. This is not a natural environment. This is the targeting of a light source. This is how you're identifying what is malice amongst the people of the state who are group stalking and monitoring with a corrupt government, doing so in concert in an entirely unnatural environment, serving for that criminal purpose. In addition, so you're going to reference that documentation of Los Angeles Police Department going over building 1818. The light source is not over building 1818 like it is today, February 11th at this time, and it's based on where I'm located. You can also understand what is going on by the stalking conduct of the Los Angeles Police Department in a venue where you have an unnatural environment that is continuously being documented. Pay attention also, what you will notice is that this light source is in no position like it was on the 9th to aim any light into the depths of my office like I also captured, which again is not sunlight. This is also not the sun. This is the false guise under which an entirely terrorizing environment is maintained for the purposes of criminal monitoring and group stalking. This is public corruption that is underway. So I want to be clear. These are the ways in which that which I've already established, you can clearly see it's a vivid illustration of what is actually going on in the environment when I show you those entirely implausible and inconsistent behaviors of the environment based on where I am. If I go to a totally different location at the same time, there will be no light source over building 1818, in which case there was no way that there would be supposedly sunlight on the wall on the inside of my bedroom at the same time. But you're understanding what is a facilitating venue for what is group stalking, that is terrorizing and pursuing with a specific environment for the criminal purpose that it's acting in concert with the people of the state who are in that environment, monitoring and gang stalking with that government. Pay attention to my documentation, because while this light source is here now at 3:53 p.m. It's currently 3:58 p.m. But at 3:53 p.m., this light source is now at the back of my apartment. This is my bedroom. At 9:54 a.m., it was outside of this bedroom, this window in the living room. All right. Again, another iteration of an absolutely impossible environment and a natural one. This is the window where I showed you, and the light source is captured at 9:55 a.m., where the entity is maintaining a light source directly over my apartment, as is the pattern of conduct that I documented in Southern California and Ontario, everywhere that I went. The maintenance of a light source, which is not the sun. That's why I don't refer to it with that language, because it's not a natural environment. It's demonic. That's going to be prosecuted as terrorism, but this is where the light source was at 9:55 a.m. The opposite side, the opposite end of my apartment, that's over 6 hours later. Yeah, that's over 6 hours later. Just wanted to catch that. And here it is here. All right. But you also want to pay attention to the stalking conduct of the Los Angeles Police Department. It is in conformity to the stalking conduct of every other police department that I've already exposed in my documentation, maintaining what is literally exclusive to be any sort of environment where the Ontario Police Department, and that's just one example, documented engagement in a pattern of stalking and harassment and terrorism, invasion of privacy, sexually violent group stalking conduct with the people of the state under what was a light source that remained for the duration of the day, wherever I was, for example, at the Ontario Town Square. At no time will the sun ever be present over building 1818 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, 90026, when I have, as a matter of record, already documented the Ontario Police Department present, stalking at that same exact address for the duration of the day under the light source which remained over me for the duration of that day at all times. Did it never leave it? It engaged in the same pattern, though, of remaining in its zenith directly over me for the duration of the day. Not only is that speaking to that which is not a natural environment, we also know that the sun is not something that is going to stay, for example, like it did today, over one building, from this window at the front of my apartment to the back of my apartment here all day long. In addition, sunlight, as I showed you in images, is not going to result in what is the pattern of my blinds on the ceiling inside of my apartment. What you'll also pay attention to is the shadow that's cast to the ceiling fan. You're paying attention to what are layers of directed light. So do not be deceived by the illusion of what you see concentrated light, but then you can see shadows. That's speaking to the trajectory of light. You're breaking down an illusion. You're able to see the different methods of casting light. This demonic practice is serving what is a criminal monitoring system with communication devices by a people that are surrounding at all times. This community, which is next door, they're engaged in group stalking activity creation in concert with the Los Angeles Police Department, for example. As I showed in images the other day, the Los Angeles Fire Department, the entity uses third parties who use their planes to engage in the same crossing of path in the airspace, doing so using what is the same environment and the amplification of audible activity. You have the maintenance of all three elements of criminal monitoring ongoing at all times. That is, again, light, that is audible activity, which is amplified for purposes of what is gang use, right? The surrounding conduct, which is inherent harassment by a government. This is not ordinary harassment. It's going to be prosecuted as that which is unprecedented on the books as it is right now. You have what is harassment by a government that is stalking. You have terrorism by a government that is pursuing with light in absolutely demented ways in an unnatural environment, which is ordinarily that which is inexplicable, that which the ordinary targeted individual is not able to articulate or understand. It is designed to falsely depict, that is, the targeted individual as one suffering from mental health. This is the malice of that system. You are going to show by the stalking and obsessive and demented pattern of conduct by the state, such as the Los Angeles Police Department, who are engaged in obsessive pursuit of me in an entirely demented environment. That is speaking to the malice. That malice is showing the threat that they are to the public, the absolute removal from the positions that they are currently holding, and the prosecution, that impending prosecution, which is a matter of necessity. All right, it is literally an impending emergency, and it is speaking to what's an ongoing threat to the life of the target individual, not only by that state, all right, that is represented by the Los Angeles Police Department, but by the people of the state. Group stalkers, specifically in that environment, acting with malice, having no ignorance whatsoever in that unnatural environment. Everything done in relevant position is serving to criminally monitor. Everyone engaging and perpetrating that threat with the state shall go to federal prison. They shall be subject to what is a mandatory mental health examination. And you're speaking to what is the prosecuted speaker, whose property is being used for the criminal monitoring of an American citizen. And again, that is not something that any actor is ignorant of. The presence of this unnatural environment is speaking to deliberation. It's speaking to intent. It is speaking to that which is in no way any coincidence or accident. All right. This is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 4:02 p.m. and this is the light source that's over building 1818. And as I've already documented on previous occasions, the Los Angeles Police Department is engaged in ongoing cyclical, demented, and obsessive